most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today we're going to talk about treadmill workouts. Are they 5-star or do they do more harm than good?
Right.
You must see this.
Yeah, Bob and I have used treadmills extensively over the years, and we both decided separately that we're going to stop using the treadmill this winter because there's some concerns we have about it. So we're going to give you the advantages and disadvantages so you can decide for yourself if you want to continue to use one.
We'll give you the lowdown.
That's right.
By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go to bobandbrad.com. We're always giving something away. This week, we're giving away a SleepOvation mattress. This is awesome. This is just a sample of the mattress. You can see how the innards look on it.
The innards.
The innards. You can go to Facebook. The contest will be pinned to the top of the page. Go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program. And some of you may be listening to this on podcast because we put some of these on podcast.
That's where you don't look at.
Yeah, you don't see the face.
It's like a radio.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's go, Bob. So as I mentioned, we both use treadmills a lot, and we decided not to this year. My biggest concern was last year I really used it a lot, and I started getting hamstring
problems
and strains. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it was from using the treadmill more and more or not, but it got me thinking about it. Maybe I should just try. And then there's other things after I start doing some research on it that I think it's going to be really a good thing for me to find some other options.
Right. And there are a lot of options. We'll go over some of those in future videos.
Exactly right. I've got one I'm excited to give.
Yeah.
So let's go through. First, we're going to go through some advantages.
Sure.
And it's got a list and then some disadvantages. And, they kind of counter each other in certain areas and some not. Obviously, big advantage, no weather issues.
Yeah.
And that's why if you live in, up north or, Wisconsin, Minnesota, a lot of people don't like running in the snow.
I don't mind running in the cold.
Yeah.
Unless it gets really cold, but I don't like slippery roads.
Yeah.
And there's been years where it's been slippery almost all winter long.
Exactly.
We've had a really good winter so far.
Yeah.
I ran outside every day now.
Well, people in Florida don't care about that.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
The next thing, they're adjustable incline. So you can run up a hill if you want. You can run on the flat if you want. One thing I found out I wasn't aware of, and maybe treadmill people are, is you're running on the flat on a treadmill, and the motorized belt is kind of helping you. So to compensate for that, you go up 1 degree gradient, 1%. I'm sorry, 1%. So you just
we were just talking about on my treadmill. I don't know if that's 1%, but I have always naturally gone up one level
to compensate for that.
I don't know. It's just I felt like I was almost falling forward when it was level.
Okay.
Like I felt, like I had to get good grip. I had to actually.
Okay. Well, they're saying that you're going to do that 1% slight increase to compensate for that more resistance that you naturally have outdoors.
Yeah.
Number 3, less impact. Some treadmills are better than others, but I think, in my mind, all treadmills, because they're suspended a little bit, they're going to have a little give as opposed to running on concrete or blacktop.
I broke 3 treadmills. I broke the deck on it.
Oh,
because I weighed 2.
You got to be careful, Bob.
I know, but I weighed 200 some pounds, and I'm pounding.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it would give way in the middle,
right.
So
if the treadmill's accepting that kind of impact, just think what your joints are. It works both ways. It's not so. But anyways, less impact on a treadmill versus hard concrete or blacktop if you're a road runner. Number 4. Now, this is a theory. I read about it in an article, and I can see where it may be true, but I don't know for sure. They actually promote 4-foot running, leaning forward running with a shorter stride length, which is all consistent with improved speed with your running and less impact on your
Less
joints.
impact on the joints.
So it's a good thing. Again, that's a theory.
I'm not sure if I buy that one or not, but
Well, when you were just saying you elevated yours a little bit
Yeah.
because it made you feel like you were
right.
So,
So maybe it does.
yeah. Anyways, the next one, good objective information. I don't think anybody can disagree with
Yeah,
this.
you know if you're improving, and
Right.
Because
You look at your
Everything's
speed
the
on
same.
there. Then each day, I used to do interval work on it. I would run fast, run slow, run fast, and I could do that very specific distances and keep an accurate and consistent workout, which is really nice. I think that's a big advantage, and I really did enjoy that. And plus, it made it less boring
Sure.
for me. And nowadays, actually, another point is you can do whole programs with a TV screen and run through the Alps if you want to,
Sure.
and see the pictures there, and then have different speeds and have a whole program already interjected into the software that may last 10 or 12 weeks, and you just keeps you motivated to stay with it.
Sure.
And then of course cardio. They're going to get your heart rate up. You're going to get good cardio benefits, just as you would outside.
Sure.
Now let's go to the disadvantages.
I want to tell one more advantage,
Oh.
Brad. This is just anecdotally, but patients that I had that would use a treadmill
Mhm.
versus a bike,
Yep.
stationary bike,
Yep.
they seemed like they stuck with the treadmill longer than they.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just, again, it's anecdotally, but it was almost across the board. Like if people got a treadmill, they'd use it.
Now, in
But
general,
they were walking.
walkers.
Yeah, they were walkers.
Yeah. And I think there is a difference,
difference,
yeah,
right.
between the walker treadmill users and the non-walkers. But still, most of these apply to both. Less impact when you walk, of course. And of course, the whole thing about the body running form when you walk is not exist.
Right.
So for walkers, maybe more advantages to treadmill. Disadvantages, everyone probably agrees with this, is they're boring.
Yeah.
Everyone's just boring. And you get a TV, it helps, but you can't pay attention to the TV too much. You got to pay attention where you are.
Yeah, you
on the
do.
treadmill.
It's funny because I'm looking down, looking up, I'm looking down, looking up.
Which leads me to point number 2, and I got some facts on this. They're dangerous. They can be very dangerous. People can fall. In 2015, I couldn't find anything from 18 or 19. So I pulled this up from 15. I have a feeling it's consistent. Similar 24,400 doctor visits from treadmill falls.
Is it the United States or what?
Yeah, United States. Yeah, that's a lot.
I fell, and this is why I fell. There's a key on there, a safety key,
Oh, sure.
and you're supposed to clip it to you,
Mm.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
But it just came loose, and so I'm running, and also it just stopped.
Yeah.
And I remember I just like, what happened? And also I fell right down. I'm like,
Yeah.
then when I hit the floor, I was thinking I was gonna scoop me back, but
Yeah.
it didn't. I was like,
Yeah.
why is that? So
You didn't get hurt.
I didn't get
You
hurt.
weren't one of the fatality.
But
or,
that was, I was 59
injured.
years old when that happened.
Oh, really?
So, I mean,
oh, quite a few years ago.
well,
Just
wait a
kidding.
minute.
Anyways, yeah, so they are dangerous. If you go on YouTube and hit falls on treadmills, you're going to see all kinds of falls on them. They're not even funny, but
No.
I guess they're dangerous. So anyways, kids go on them and play with them, and they fall, but they bounce off usually
Yeah,
pretty good. But
yeah.
I'm sure sometimes they do not. So there is that part to think about. The next thing, the belt is motorized. We alluded to this before, so that changes your running form. It changes the muscle. How do we call it? The muscle synergy, how things
Sure.
work. This is different than running outside. So in some ways it could weaken your muscles so that when you change to outdoor running, you don't get the crossover that the maximum.
I know it's
crossover
always a big challenge going from treadmill to outside.
Yeah.
Outside
in
again.
the spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you don't get that good crossover. The leg and the foot, particularly the foot and the ankle. Now, this is something that I hadn't thought about before, but once I thought about it and read it, it's like, it makes perfect sense.
yeah.
You're running on a very consistent flat surface. When you're running outside, it's not true. You're running on, especially if you're trail running, there's all kinds of variations
Or
of the
even
surface.
just a camber of the road.
Camber of the road, you're running uphill, you're
Uphill,
running
downhill.
downhill, very much different
Even from a proprioception
Yep.
sense. Being able to tell where your foot is without looking at
Yep.
it It's putting more tax. It's
Yeah.
taxing it more.
You're going to lose strength in
Yeah.
muscles in your ankle that deal with lateral motions versus that consistent treadmill motion. So there's that to think of. Number 5, lack of outdoor stimulation.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I miss when I can't run
yeah.
outdoors.
And it's
I
not
love
just a
that.
psychological thing. There's
Yeah,
other benefits.
there's studies on it. Like especially if you can run in nature, that's the biggest.
Get away from all
right.
the hustle and bustle and the cars
You
going
get your
by.
vitamin D from the sun.
Yep.
A little harder in the winter, but it's just so much better. I even like we call it cryotherapy. My wife and I. That don't cry. It's cold
Cold.
therapy.
Yeah.
And it's good
In
for
cooler
you.
weather, you get
Yeah.
out. I'll usually run without shorts on unless it gets below 20 and it's not. If it's windy, I'll put pants on.
Sure.
I mean, I've got shorts, but my leg.
I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that, Brad.
Well, the neighbors talk sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, the outdoor, the visual stimulation, that sun, the air, all that things to me is just so relaxing.
Yeah. I miss it so much.
Yep.
When
And I like running up a hill is just a lot better
Yeah.
than tilting the treadmill up,
Yeah.
I think. And of course, another big disadvantage if you're thinking about buying one for your house, there's the CRS.
Yep.
And it's not can't remember, it's clothes rack syndrome.
Yeah.
Liz and I were talking before this, and we decided that at least 50% of the people, probably a lot more, end up after 6 months or a year, they hang their clothes on it to dry
Yeah.
more than they're using it.
Yeah.
You could easily spend $500, $1,000 on a good treadmill, and you don't want to have it for a clothes rack.
Right.
So go out and use one at a gym somewhere before you buy one.
Yeah. We had a running joke among I and a bunch of friends. We had all bought dip bars.
Oh, yeah.
And so our joke was, you're hanging your clothes on it now. So
I think there's other things you could use for that dip bar that would be really handy. So treadmills, they're fantastic. Some disadvantages, some advantages, but hopefully this will get you thinking of different things you haven't thought of before that may help you out in making a decision to continue or to start or to buy one. So beware on that purchase.
sounds good. Thanks, Brad.